Okay, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to fill out a real estate contract. There's multiple contracts that we use. In this particular one, I had this one developed several years ago by an attorney when I was doing a lot of pre-foreclosures because it just allowed me to move on the fly a little bit more. You can change, alter any contract out there. Real estate is a live contract, but this is just one that's going to have a lot of the things for you. You can use it for multiple things. You could use it if you're buying cash with a new mortgage, cash with an existing mortgage, or you could use assumable mortgage. I've actually never done that and don't plan on doing that because you actually have to qualify for the new mortgage. So I'm going to break everything down. I'm going to build this out so how you can fill it out. And then if you have any questions, make sure that you put your comments below. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. And make sure you drop any comments down below. All real estate purchases go through a real estate contract. They are then transferred through a deed if you are buying a property with a loan that is secured by a trustee's deed. And so there's multiple parts and components to real estate. This is one of the contracts I use. This is one of the contracts my students use. This one specifically for buying subject to properties, or you could use it for anything else. I'm going to break it down for you how to fill it out, what you need to do. So first of all, the first thing we're talking about is the purchaser. We're going to use ABC Holdings, LLC is the buyer, and we're buying it from Betty and Herbert Ross. Property is located at 123 Elm Street, and that's in Kansas City, Missouri, 64122. Purchase price to be paid according to paragraph below. How am I going to pay for it? Am I going to pay for it with cash or subject to a new mortgage? Subject to the existing mortgage, assumption of a new mortgage, how am I going to pay for it? So in this particular way, we're just going to say, I'm going to use it for subject to the existing mortgage, right? So I'm going to say that's paragraph C. And since I'm not using this stuff, I think that you always want to fill out blank contracts with NAs. You don't need to read any of that. So the mortgage in favor of blank, that's going to be the person's name. So we're going to put Betty Ross. Dated, whatever date you have on there. Let's say it's 6/26/2005 right now. So let's say they got that mortgage. And you could always put, just to be clear, if you don't know it, you could put TDD and the original amount of, if you know that number, you could put $105,000. If you knew the number, it's going to be, whatever they paid for the property, or you could put TBD if you do not know it. But you are going to know what the current mortgage debt is because you will have a letter of authorization that will accompany this document that will allow you to find out what they owe on it, or you could simply look at their statement. And we're going to say that the current balance on this thing is $100,000 and change. I'm just using easy numbers as of, and it's 6/26/2025 right now. So I'm just going to say that's what it is. And then I'm just going to go through and write everything else is NA because this does not coincide. All these lines right here are just how you're going to pay for it. So if you were paying cash, you would do item number A here, and this wouldn't change. If you're paying $200,000, you're paying $200,000. If you're getting a new loan, like a hard money loan, you would just fill this thing out, and you would say you're going to get a mortgage, and you're going to get a mortgage within 15 days, and you're going to set your in the amount of, let's just say you want a full loan. Like these are all outs that you're building in. $200,000, and the rate should not exceed, let's call it 4%. Now we know right now by me writing this that I need to get a loan for $200,000, and I'm going to secure my note of 4%. That's probably impossible in today's market, which says if I don't get this in 15 days, I could back out. I could even make this like 30 days. So really what you're doing is you're building your outs in these contracts, right? Outs are ways that you could say, hey, because I wasn't able to get this, I get it back out. But for these intents and purposes, these are all going to be NA right now. But now you know how to fill it out if you're doing it that way. Cash doesn't have any outs other than other things that we're going to write in. Outs are a way of wiggling out of the contract. And again, I will tell you that we have never used this, although it's there if you do need it, okay? Earnest money deposit. I would suggest you make your earnest money deposit between $100 and $500. So let's just make it. We could also, we don't know the escrow holder, we could put TBD, or you could put buyer's choice. So we're just going to put buyer's choice, right? Or if you knew it, you could put Chicago title, right? Or you could put anything else, but I'm going to put buyer's choice. That's the easiest way, okay? This is where they're going to need to initial. So now it says, if the offer is not accepted by the seller, the earnest money shall be promptly refunded to the purchaser. If the offer is accepted, the purchaser fails to perform on the terms of this agreement, the earnest money deposit should be fully forfeited as liquidated damages to the seller. And this is the seller's only remedy and recourse so they can't sue us. Okay. Prorations, it's going to say taxes, fees, assessments, real estate taxes accrued against the property shall be prorated through the date of closing, which means that they're assessed daily. You're going to pay at the day you close whatever amount is due, and then once you take over going forward, that's going to be yours. Rents shall be prorated through the date of closing, and all deposits shall be transferred to the purchaser. Same thing. If you bought a property that's a rental, let's say the monthly rent is $1,000. You're halfway through that rent term, they would give you $500, and then if their deposit was $1,000, they would transfer that deposit over to you. Seller shall pay the title and escrow fees and HO-related fees if possible. Inspections and related expenses. Seller shall ensure necessary utilities are turned on and supplied to the property within 2 business days after the execution of the agreement. Purchaser requires the following inspections and certifications: home inspection, sewer scope, mold inspection, foundation inspection. All things that you could do if you wanted to. Due diligence is a general term for basically an out. So I'm always going to suggest that you have your due diligence as long as possible. So because we're going to set up a close of escrow, currently it is 6/26/2005. So I'm going to set up my close of escrow to be, let's just call it 1 month from today. So I'm going to say 7/26/2025. It's 30 days from today. So I am going to say that my due diligence is 30 days. Now, in a regular real estate contract, if you're doing it like on an on-market property, they're probably not going to accept that. It's probably going to be more like 10 days or 14 days. But basically what this says right here is that you can back out at the last moment and get your earnest money back, right? So that means that your due diligence says purchaser shall have 30 days from the acceptance of this offer to complete due diligence. During that period, the purchaser shall have the right to conduct inspections on the property as deemed necessary. Seller agrees to provide reasonable access. Title company shall provide purchaser with a preliminary title report within 10 days of the opening escrow. Purchaser retains the right to cancel this agreement and be refunded the earnest money if the property does not meet the due diligence requirements. So B means that if you have 30 days and you decide to cancel the agreement, you're getting your money back. You're just going to fill in what your state law is. You're going to have them, once you get this signed, either loading this through what I suggest, a digital signature. Unless you're meeting with the people, then I would suggest you build the contract out ahead of time, except for like purchase price and stuff like that, and then have them sign an initial on the spot. Title of the property. Seller shall provide purchaser with owner's title, policy, titles, insurance equal to the purchase price. Seller should convey title at closing by a general warranty deed free of liens, encumbrances, except stated in the offer. So unless there's anything else that you decide to do, that would be the case, right? Close of escrow. Close of escrow shall take on or before July 26, 2025. At this time, purchaser shall be given possession of the property. Failure for the seller to transfer possession will result in damages of X. I would just suggest you want the people out of the property. You're securing a note for $200,000. Let's say your monthly payment's $2,000. I would say, hey, you know what? It's going to cost you $500 a day if you're not out. Make it something that is going to incentivize them to get out. Improvements and fixtures included. This offer concludes all improvements, buildings, fixtures presently on the real estate, including but not limited to blank. And that would just be whatever you filled in there. If you don't fill anything in, you can put NA. Assignment agreement. This just allows you to assign the property. Transactional funding. This allows for you to do a double close. If you don't know what a double close is, go and watch our video on how to do a double close. This example right here is going to instruct title and escrow that you're going to be doing a double close, or that you have the ability to do a double close. 12, novation agreement. This is letting you know that you could novate the property. That means that if you're marketing the property online, that you can then go and substitute another contract with this contract. That is called a novation, and that will allow you to do it. Confidentiality agreement is saying that, listen, you can't disclose what our terms are. They can't go around you. If the seller defaults on this agreement, there's going to be liquidated damage in the amount of 25% equal to the contractual price, or $50,000, whichever is greater. If the seller refuses to sell for any reasons, the outright term, the seller and the buyer herewithin agree to resolve this dispute in the binding arbitration of such arbitration be the home to be borne by the losing party in accordance with the procedures in the state law, right? So obviously you want to know your state law. Extensions. We build this in if the purchaser requests, seller agrees to a 30-day extension for $200 per extension. Extensions are limited to 2 unless both parties agree. So what is that going to cost you? $100 per extension. If you need a 30-day extension, you extend it, $100. 30-day extension, extend it. Now you'll be giving your earnest money away at that point in time, but it's $100, right? Seller agrees to cooperate with the purchasers in good faith of this terms of this agreement. The agreement represents the entire understanding between all parties. No other representatives' agreements shall modify this agreement. In the event of any litigation or arbitration, the prevailing party shall be entitled to the reasonable attorney's fees and costs. And then this would just be any other additional things that you and the seller agreed to. So it could be like, seller will provide the buyer with letter of authorization. Buyer will make loan payments. Buyer will keep insurance on the property. If you're going to pay him off in a balloon, you could say like, buyer will pay off seller's mortgage in 10 years. Whatever you want to put in there, you can put in there. You can cross anything out on here, just initial next to it. So like, let's say they say, I do not agree with line item number, let's say something. Maybe they don't like item number 12. You could just cross off this entire item right here and have both of you guys initial right here, and it's done. Then let's say, oh, well, I need more space. You could write something else down here and have everybody initial. So that is exactly how you fill out that agreement. If you are struggling to understand these, just spend some time. These contracts can be changed. You can change it. It can say anything. This is just allowing you a templated offer that you can put in and you can submit to either sellers or realtors. You can send this offer to a realtor. If you find a property online that you want to send it to, just send it to the realtor. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure that you take action. Make sure that you continue to follow all the modules in the program. And I hope this helps you out.